Today, we are cracking open one of the most famous and, let's be honest, heartbreaking stories in modern Japanese literature. It's Mori Ōgai's classic, Maihime, which translates to The Dancing Girl. And wow, is it a story about a man caught between two completely different worlds who has to make a choice that will, well, pretty much haunt him forever.
And really, that's the question at the very heart of this story. It makes you think, what are you willing to give up for your ambition, for your career, for what society calls honor? And what happens when the price you pay is someone else's entire world?
You know, the story starts with this incredibly lonely image. Our narrator, a guy named Toyotarō Oda, is on a steamship heading back to Japan from Europe. The ship is full, but he feels like he's the only person there. He is just completely swallowed up by this profound regret. So to really get why he's feeling this way, we have to rewind and see the man he used to be.
Yeah, before all this went down, Toyotarō was the definition of a rising star. This is Meiji-era Japan, a country rushing to modernize, and a man's value was all about how he served the state. He was basically the poster boy for this new era.
I mean, look at this resume. He was a brilliant student, always at the top of his class, and he was on this fast track to success. Ever since he was a kid, he did exactly what was expected of him, first by his mom, then by his government bosses. He even called himself a mechanical person, just executing a program. But, and this is a big but, underneath all that, he was hiding something. And this is where you can really see the two sides of him at war with each other. Back in Japan, he was the mechanical man, all duty, no emotion. But then he gets to 19th century Berlin, and the freedom there starts to awaken his true self, a sensitive, deeply conflicted guy who is just floored by all these feelings he's been bottling up his whole life. It's like a clash of civilizations happening inside one person.
And just listen to how he describes himself. That is not the voice of some confident, hard-charging government official, right? That's the voice of someone who is almost painfully sensitive. He's built this huge fortress of duty and ambition around this very fragile core. And that fortress, it's about to get breached.
And the thing that breaks through his walls? It's a single, totally random encounter. One evening, he's walking through the streets of Berlin, and he sees something that just stops him dead in his tracks.
He sees a young woman, really just a teenager, crying all alone next to a church. And in that one instant, the mechanical man inside him just short-circuits. The real, sensitive person takes over.
So her name is Elise, and our situation is just awful. Her dad, a tailor, just died. They have no money for the funeral. And to make things worse, her boss at the theater is basically trying to exploit her, pressuring her for, well, favors in exchange for cash. She is completely and utterly trapped.
For maybe the first time in his entire life, Toyotarō doesn't think, he just feels. He acts not out of duty, but out of pure compassion. He gives this total stranger his pocket watch, a pretty valuable thing, and tells her to sell it. This one small act of kindness, it's the first domino that's going to knock his entire life over.
So that one decision to help Elise, it sends him down a totally new path. And on that path, he finds real love, but also total professional disaster. It completely throws him off the rigid track that society had laid out for him.
And the fallout comes fast, and it is brutal. His fellow Japanese students in Berlin get jealous and start spreading nasty rumors. His bosses, who are already a bit suspicious of him, use the rumors as an excuse, and boom, he's fired, cut off. And right in the middle of all that, he gets a letter from home. His mother has died. In a flash, he has lost absolutely everything. I mean, look how fast he falls from grace. He goes from being this elite, promising official to a broke outcast in no time. But, in the middle of all that ruin, something new starts to grow. Elise, who is so grateful and now totally in love with him, asks him to come live with her and her mother. He even gets a job as a newspaper correspondent to support them. They become a little family.
And for a little while, they are genuinely happy. Without his career, without his ambitions, Toyotarō is finally free. He gets to experience a kind of love he's never known before. Sure, they're poor, but their life is real. It's connected, a total opposite of the hollow, prestigious life he had before. But his old world isn't done with him just yet.
Right when he starts to get comfortable in his new life, his past comes knocking, and it presents him with the most impossible choice you can imagine. His old friend, a guy named Aizawa, shows up in Berlin, and he's not alone. He's with a very powerful government minister.
Turns out this minister needs a German translator for a super important trip to Russia, and he's heard about Toyotaro's talent. Just like that, a door back to his old life swings wide open.
So Aizawa lays out the case, and it is devastatingly logical. He says, man, your talent is being wasted here. He appeals to Toyotaro's duty, his ambition, everything he was trained to be. He tells him this isn't just a job, it's a lifeline, a chance to get his honor back, to serve his country again. The minister's even willing to forgive everything that happened. But there's a catch. He has to leave the dancer. He has to choose.
And this is it. This is the moment the whole story hinges on. On one side, you have everything he was raised to be, the good son, the ambitious official. On the other side, you have everything his heart has found, freedom, real love, and Elise, who, by the way, is now pregnant with his child.
And Toyotarō, the man whose heart is like a mimosa leaf that curls at a touch, he just isn't strong enough. He can't withstand the gravitational pull of his old life.
He makes his choice. He takes the job. He can't even bring himself to tell Elise to her face. He just slips away one morning for the trip to Russia, promising he'll be back. But it's a lie.
So while Toyotarō is off in Russia, his friend Aizawa is the one who goes to Elise to tell her the truth, that Toyotarō has taken a permanent job and he's going back to Japan without her. Her reaction is just pure, soul-crushing disbelief. And this is the moment everything absolutely shatters.
The price of his choice is just horrific. The shock of his betrayal is so extreme that it triggers a complete mental breakdown. Elise develops a kind of paranoia that she will never recover from. Her mind is just gone. She reverts to a childlike state, lost to the world forever.
When Toyotarō finally gets back to Berlin, he doesn't find the woman he loved. He finds a living ghost. His friend Aizawa, the fixer, arranges for Elise to be cared for and gets Toyotarō passage back to Japan, basically cleaning up the mess that he helped create.
Which brings us right back to where we started. Toyotarō on that ship writing all this down. And that last line is one of the most chilling things you'll ever read. He admits his friend saved his career, but he still hates him for it. And what's so powerful about that is, it's a confession of his own weakness. He can't bear to hate himself for the choice he made, so he aims some of that hatred at the guy who forced him to make it. And we're left with this picture of a man who got everything he thought he ever wanted, but at a cost so high he can never, ever forget it.